Well, good evening, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. It is Sunday night. It is Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers out there. We appreciate it. We love you. Thank you so much for having us, because if you didn't have us, well, we wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be talking to you guys if it wasn't for my mother. And shout out to my mother. I was great because I went by, saw her, the print that I made. She absolutely loved it. Basically gave her an IOU because I was going to get some more koi for a fish pond. But the temperature today is about 47 degrees, and I didn't want to take them from the pet store where it's about 70 degrees and then drop them outside where the water's probably about 45. That would be like shock, and I wouldn't want to shock them. So I said, Mom, when it warms up some more, I'm going to bring you some more koi for your pond. So she got that. She got her print, and she said, thank you for taking time out. I know how busy you are for coming and spending time with me. So it was great. And my dad's there planting his plants and stuff to get ready to go in the garden and things. And I am truly, truly blessed to still have both of my parents that are in their 80s right now to be around. I don't know how to be more thankful than I am, but it's a blessing. And my thoughts and prayers to everybody out there who has lost a parent and things. My condolences. So today I was thinking about the Cowboys. The Cowboys have made some moves, of course, through the draft and things to get better. And you look at the draft this year, I was saying, in my mind, we get excited about all the draft picks that we get, and we say, oh, well, this guy's going to be plugged in here, or we could start this guy. But the reality is most of the guys that you draft aren't going to be starters this year. They may be role players. You may get a couple of guys that start. You know, even when you look at last year, the only full-time starter you really got was Micah Parsons. Now, you got guys that played valuable roles. O.C. and Digazua played a great role last year. He ended up doing really, really good as a rotational player. Goldston, another one that did. Jarrell Cox, until he got injured, he was beginning to come on and so on. So you really only scratched the surface. Now, you really dug deep with Micah Parsons, but those guys didn't really get into that much of the team. You follow what I'm saying here? This year, you actually look at those guys to take another step. You know, the reason why we haven't signed another free agent linebacker, or we didn't go as heavy earlier in the draft at linebacker, was because you had Jarrell Cox, and they're looking and saying that we believe that that guy is going to take a whole nother step next year. We know that O.C., Digazua, as well as Goldston, are definitely going to be part of the rotation of guys, so we can have wave after wave of players. And in the way that Diggs, from his rookie year to his second year, really stepped up, you hope to see that kind of maturation with the guys that you have. Now, the question mark, and probably Anthony Brown is going, breathing a sigh of relief, because it definitely means he's staying around as long as this case over Kelvin Joseph is hanging over his head. And in fact, even if this is solved and he is not suspended for anything, I still think you hold on to Anthony Brown just in case, because you now have to look at Kelvin Joseph and say, okay, if he gets through and gets by on this one, is there another shoe to drop? Now, I haven't heard anything about Kelvin Joseph outside of being there for OTAs. I don't know if he's doing his rap, if he's kind of reeled that in and just kind of saying, I'm focused on football. If he's going out, I don't know. And if anything, he's probably lying low and saying, I need to make sure that I'm not making a peep beyond just the law, but with the Dallas Cowboys, because you're probably put on notice. Now, the question will be is, I don't think at this point that the police are going to make a charge for him. I just don't at this point. I think they would have already done so. I mean, they've already got the two guys that have, arrested and confessed to it and so on. And maybe this is one of those things where, they're Kelvin Joseph's guys, and we're going to fall on the sword and make sure that you're not implicated, and so on. Because, maybe if we do that, if Kelvin Joseph was part of it, it can be one of those things that I'll take care of you guys, whatever. It stinks. The whole thing stinks. And you have to understand that as a Dallas Cowboy and an NFL player, you are always got a target on your back for people to want to get what you have. That you will be made the example for others. That women, they want to have your baby. They want to be your guy, girl, so that way they can get some of that money. Other people, they're looking to see if I can get you in trouble to do something stupid. I can sell a tape to TMZ and get paid. So you have to live above and beyond what the average person does. Now, here's the question. If the police end up not doing anything, and I don't think that they do, what will the NFL do to Kelvin Joseph? As far as I can tell, there's only been 2 players that have not been arrested and charged with a crime that have been suspended. And that is Zeke Elliott and Ben Roethlisberger. Now, if you do weed and stuff before they change the rules, substance abuse, PEDs, those kind of things, they get you on. You can look at the list, and the list is long on those. But you have situations where, without being arrested, they're not usually doing something. Let me give you an example right now. Take a look at this video here, okay? This is a former Washington football player. So that was Montre Nicholson, a D-back for the Washington Commanders away team. And the police dropped the charges. Excuse me. They didn't bring charges on that case. And clearly, this is stuff that's going on. And I'm not trying to equate that fight with a drive-by shooting. If Kelvin Joseph did not pull the trigger and it was not his idea and so on, and was not charged with it, if we look at that and say, that guy wasn't charged, because clearly you can look like he's intoxicated, I'm assuming, I'm just saying it looks like that, and you're fighting in the street. You would think that that would be something that the NFL would say, that's kind of conduct detrimental to the team, or, personal contact policy or something like that. Maybe even substance abuse. But no charges, no suspension. So since Zeke Elliott was suspended in 2017, it seems like the NFL has kind of toned down some of the suspensions for things. And I can't find any suspensions for somebody who has not been arrested and charged with a crime. We go through after Zeke, we had Adam Jones, of course, who many times was violation of conduct policy stemming from a guilty obstruction charge. Vontez Burfict, of course, always violation of player safety. We have Josh Brown, violation of personal conduct, kicker. It's not very often you see a kicker. Janoris Jenkins, violation of team rules. Mike Evans, violation of unsportsmanlike conduct and unnecessary roughness. Aqib Talib, it should be for being stupid and shooting himself. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Rob Gronkowski, initially falling on the neck of a cornerback. Juju Smith-Schuster, safety-related playing issues. Marcus Peters leaving the field before the game was ended. Thomas Davis, illegal hit on Green Bay. Eli Apple, conduct detrimental to team. Violation of personal conduct from sexual harassment. Jameis Winston, violation of personal conduct, team rules, violation of personal conduct. Buffalo Bills, fighting during game, violation of unnecessary roughness, fighting. Now, you can go through substance abuse ones, tons of those, okay, tons of those. And the thing that's crazy about this whole thing, when you start thinking about seeing things like he just did of Montre Nicholson, you think about how much Randy Gregory was suspended for weed. You got people out drunk driving. You got people that have, done some horrendous things, domestic violence and things like that. And weed is the one that really got him in trouble. So in looking at this, understanding that only Zeke and Ben Roethlisberger are the only two players that were suspended without being arrested and charged with a crime, I think Kelvin Joseph may not be suspended by the NFL. I just don't. I think the NFL, even though they won the case against Zeke, I think they lost, and they realized we're not going to be in the business of suspending players. Now, we'll see what happens, of course, with Deshaun Watson, because that's allegations from a lot of people, but there's no charges. So could he be the third that's been charged, or suspended, without actually being charged? We'll have to wait and see. So with that being said, I'm going to catch you guys later. I got some stuff working in the workshop, because the work never ends just because the day goes down. There's always work to do, and I'm going to go do it. Hope you're having a great Mother's Day, and I'll see you soon. Peace.